Hey listeners, before we begin today's episode, we want to provide a content warning. The following discussion may include sensitive or potentially distressing topics that could be triggering for some individuals. We believe in approaching these subjects with empathy and respect, but we understand that they might not be suitable for everyone.
In this episode, we'll be discussing the film Dolores Claiborne, which will include discussions around sexual assault and incest. We encourage you to listen at your own discretion, especially if you or someone you know could be affected. Please consider skipping this episode if you feel that's necessary.
Your well-being is important to us, and we want to ensure that you make the best decision for yourself.
Thanks for listening, and on to the episode.
Hi, Kelly. Oh my God, we're here again.
9 months later.
Yeah, so it's been a minute. You won't know this because it'll all be under the same season. You'll see one to the next like nothing happened, but 10 pounds, 9 months later, here we are.
Yeah.
And we're slaying just the same. I mean, nothing's changed.
A couple things, but
a couple things have changed. We both got new jobs.
Yeah.
Since our last episode, which is incredible. It's like kind of amazing. We're both getting paid amazingly well.
Better than what it was.
But I mean, we're getting paid well. And listen, no matter what you get paid, you always want more. So that's just life. What are you going to do? But we're here. This is why I'm gay.
This is why I'm gay.
This is actually why I'm gay. I don't know if you knew this yet.
I can't create a time schedule, so 9 months at a time. That is why I'm gay.
No schedule of time, no organization, but we got back here just the same.
Mm-hmm.
I had to dust everything off down here quite literally. Like there was actually rubble from the ceiling on the table.
Time to get back to podcasting.
Time to get back to work. Get back to the ranch. We have so much to talk about. I mean, there's so many exciting things happening in the world of pop culture, in the world of our obsessions, and we have a really great one for you today. I think you're going to enjoy what we talk about. It's going to be great. But a little housekeeping, I would say, before we start anything, this is going to be about a month late probably, but today, the day we are recording right now, Tina Turner has passed away.
May 24th.
May 24th.
2023. What a sad day.
What a sad day. I'm crushed. I cried at work. I actually cried.
I saw it, and then I immediately called you.
He called me seconds after, like actually maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah. And
just so you know, wow, like that just proves you're a real bitch, because I was like, what do I do? What do I do? And then you called me and I said, okay.
You picked up already crying and you knew why I called.
I know.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I opened my phone and it was like 8 minutes ago, Tina Turner's official page posted.
Yeah.
And if you don't already know, Tina Turner, for me, she's one of my biggest vocal inspirations. She's just like what feminism is all about. She's like, I took my life back at like 45 and had a whole nother life after that and slayed the house down fucking boots. And that man that we don't speak of, he's long dead. So good.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Tina Turner. I'm debating
rock and roll.
The queen of rock and roll. I mean, there's nothing much else to say. One of my favorite movies is What's Love Got to Do with It?
We watched it together.
Did we?
Yeah. I saw it for the first time with you.
Oh my God, that might have to be an episode because I loved that movie when I first saw it. It was definitely a weekly obsession at the time in 2016 when I saw it for the first time. I mean, Angela Bassett.
All I can think about is that one scene where she's running from the hotel, and it's so dramatic.
Oh, it's so dramatic.
But like, I kind of just want to watch that one scene.
We should definitely do that at some point. I mean, now, with that being said, I'm thinking about going to the karaoke bar tonight and singing in her honor, but I'm really conflicted because I don't want to go outside.
Yeah.
But I really feel like it's appropriate that I do so. Don't you think? Like,
do you think your selected venue will appreciate and understand the grieving process that you're going through right now?
Well, the last time I went to said venue, everyone sucked ass, and then I came up and everyone basically called me a god for the next hour. So it was great for my ego.
Yeah.
I don't have to do much to impress people. I mean, look at me.
Shut the fuck up.
I have to walk into a room. I just have to walk into a room. It's like, what no, but anyways, R.I.P. Tina, we love you.
Yes.
You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone. What's the rest? Anyways, we're going to move on.
Okay.
I think it's time to get into the weekly obsessions.
Yeah.
Because while it's been 9 months, I have backlogged a few things, but we need to get updated on what's going on between the two of us. So I think you should go first.
All right.
I think you should go first. Because I think I went first like the last few times. So it's your turn, buddy.
It's not a competition.
It's your turn, buddy. Okay.
So this may be a future topic.
Okay.
It
that always
fits
happens
within that realm.
Mm-hmm.
But something that I've been thinking about a lot in the past week is a movie that I watched a lot as a kid, Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Oh my, okay. Every time you have a week lips, I already know because you've already projected it to the world, and I love that for you. I never knew there was so much slayage in Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Oh, yeah. So, specifically, the one thing that I think about whenever I think about that movie, I watched it a shit ton on VHS as a kid, like over and over. Christina Ricci in that lacy, it's like a wedding dress.
It's beautiful. I literally couldn't even have told you what they looked like.
Yeah.
So
lacy white wedding dress and like boots, like Doc Martens, and
very 90s.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I think she kind of just like throws it on at one point, and you're like,
sure. All right.
Dead lady's wedding dress. I don't even know. I can't even remember the plot of the movie because it's entirely obfuscated by the fact that I saw that outfit as a kid and was like,
oh my God. So it's really a Gay Root Weekly Obsession combo.
Yeah, it's a two-piece and a biscuit
it's a twofer. It's a you pick two.
But then the more that I thought about it, I was like, oh, and then there's the woman who plays the dead mom, and she has this like beautiful red dress on with like this sheer thing. And I specifically remember scenes where she is like standing in front of a stained glass window and she fades into view and she's like holding out the like little red cape and going like this. And it's like this thematic little piano interlude. And she talks to her husband who's still alive.
Wow.
I watched this scene again because like I couldn't really, but it's Amy from the show Judging Amy, the feel-good show where, like, Amy is a judge. Like, literally a judge. It's called Judging Amy.
This is a real show?
It's a real show.
Judging Amy.
Yeah, it's, like, some feel-good Hallmark Channel shit from, like, the late 90s, early 2000s.
Wow.
My mom eats it up.
Of course she does.
So, in that scene, she's talking to her husband, and I went back and rewatched it, and I saw a comment underneath it, and I just need to read it to you because it's so poignant and so specific.
Okay. I'm adjusting your mic because
thank you.
Just need it. You needed it.
Quote.
Give it to me.
You and Kat loved me so much when I was alive, I had no unfinished business. Please don't let me be yours. In order to tell her husband that he should move on after she's passed. And the Man B91 UK from 2 years ago, as a 30-year-old man, this line destroys me. Amelia just saved his soul with these words, not least because she had already watched him die. She knew that if he died without finding her spirit, he would have become a ghost again, forever searching the earth for a woman who was already at peace. And I was like,
what?
How are you going to give me this deep philosophical understanding of Casper, the friendly fucking ghost?
You know, sometimes the greatest jewels are buried in the dirtiest rocks.
Just make that up.
Yeah.
Dirty little rocks.
Dirty little rocks. Casper's such a dirty rock, but those girls are the jewel.
Yeah. I mean, that was...
We need to talk about... You need to talk to Angel about this because she's a huge fan of Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Why can't I see that?
You know. You understand.
The final lady that I need to talk about in Casper is Kathy Moriarty.
Okay.
She is like the bad lady, the one who's like... and she talks like this, and she has a cigarette at all times. She's wearing like a beautiful suit. She has a blonde bob. It's very Parent Trap.
Very Lindsay Lohan? Oh no, the mother.
Meredith Blake.
Okay.
Sorry. Wow. How could I forget her name like that?
I forgot her. That's a sin. Step one of me going to hell. Well, I already going to hell.
9 months later, you forgot about the fucking Parent Trap.
That's a great one, Kelly. I love that. It just came about out of nowhere. What did you say? How did it happen?
Oh, okay. So I was in DC for a concert, and it was Ethel Cain and Caroline Polachek.
Oh, that brought it up. Okay.
And
that was when?
It was at the Anthem, and there were like 3 floors, so it's the ground floor and 2 above it.
Just 2? Wow, okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was just 1.
I was kind of shocked.
It's a great venue.
I took a massive shit in the 3rd floor bathroom because I was about to diarrhea everywhere.
I'm sure every other gay did.
I was the only person in the bathroom, and I was like holding the stall.
You were like Austin Powersing.
Oh yeah, no, that shit was like a worm that was controlling my brain.
Oh my!
I was like,
that was like you were an infected.
Oh yeah, no,
shitting.
I did feel like I had gotten bitten by a zombie. Like I was gripping the walls of the stall.
So you're gripping the walls. How does Casper?
Entirely unrelated from the shit story, but I was on the bottom floor and I looked back into the seated area of the 2nd floor, and there was a woman in a long white gown, like an immaculate costume.
Whoa!
For this,
she was there for Miss Caroline for sure.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Actually, wait. It could definitely go either way. I was gonna say it could really go either way.
Yeah. They also had an opener, True Blue. I had never heard of her, but I was like, oh,
was she good?
Yeah, she was great.
Cool.
Very skinny white woman. Talks like this on the mic.
That fits the bill. 3 skinny white women in one concert.
Oh, absolutely. I was like, yeah, of course I would like this woman, because of course I would be at this concert for the same thing.
Just like every other gay within a 200-mile radius was probably at that concert.
Oh, yeah.
You saw every man you've ever had sex with? No, I'm kidding.
I mean, the nice thing, though, was it was a crowd full of twinks, so they were really easy to push. I was like,
he said, move out of the way, faggots!
Up here!
Wow. So when you saw the dress, you were like,
I was like,
oh my God, remember that movie?
I was like, why is this so cunt to me? And then I was like, oh
yeah, my girls.
Casper.
My girls.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And then it just unfolded into me remembering that all of the other women in it were actually fucking amazing too.
We're slay. That's a great one.
It was, thank you.
It's a great one.
It feels good to be back. And, I feel like that was...
you came in with a bang.
Yeah, that was the powder keg of mid-season 2 for us, at least for me.
No, absolutely. I mean, that fits the bill completely for you, so I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Well, so...
Hit me with it, baby.
So mine is a bit of a broad spectrum of events that are all culminated in the same theme. All right, so we cut out there for a little technical difficulty, big surprise on the show. Listen, there's no one behind this fucking camera. I'm doing this shit, okay? Well, during the break, Kelly found a really upsetting post from Angela Bassett about Tina Turner, so we need to read it live on the show. Did the thing. Oh my God. She did.
This is a somber moment, okay?
She did the sad thing.
How do we say farewell to a woman who owned her pain and trauma and used it as a means to help and change the world? Through her courage in telling her story, her commitment to stay the course in her life, no matter the sacrifice, and her determination to carve out a space in rock and roll for herself and for others who look like her, Tina Turner showed others who lived in fear what a beautiful future filled with love, compassion, and freedom should look like. Her final words to me, for me, were, "You never mimicked me. Instead, you reached deep into your soul, found your inner Tina, and showed her to the world. I shall hold these words close to my heart for the rest of my days. I am honored to have known Tina Turner. I am humbled to have helped show her to the world. So on today, while we mourn the loss of this iconic voice and presence, she gave us more than we could have ever asked. She gave us her whole self, and Tina Turner is a gift that will always be, quote, simply the best. Angels sing thee to thy rest, Queen." Damn. That's beautiful.
Fucking bullshit! Well, now I gotta watch the movie soon.
Yeah. It's only right.
It's only right. That's what I always do. I mean, you gotta celebrate him a little bit,
Oh, yeah. She was 83.
I mean, yeah, she was a good age. You know, she made it.
She accomplished a lot and had 2 lives, essentially.
So what else can we say about it, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not going to think about it anymore because I'll get depressed. But
Nothing. Shut up. Go.
So my weekly obsession, it's a little bit of an announcement for everyone. So recently, through the gaze of my sex dreams that I've been having recently and multiple television programs that I've been viewing, I have realized that I am in fact a pansexual woman and no longer just a lesbian.
You said I needed to rebrand and fast.
I took off Kim the Dyke on everything. I was like,
this handle is dead. That is a slur.
I just didn't feel like it anymore for now. I mean, maybe I'll go back to it, but I definitely did the opposite of what a lot of straight people do and denied my sexuality.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to be a lesbian. Like, that's my brand. And then I was like,
binaristic of you.
very binaristic of me. And also kind of not cute. Like, it's 2023. Everyone's pan. If they don't admit it to themselves, they're at least queer in some way. Like, there's some gay in everyone.
Yeah. I agree with that. I'm definitely more male leaning.
Yeah.
But
the Kinsey scale is real.
yeah, but there's a lot of curly-haired European women that do something to me that I don't know how to explain. And they're like all exactly the same woman.
Yeah. No, I mean, you have your type.
Yeah, it's Rachel Weisz, Monica Bellucci.
So my type, it all started with a sex dream about season 3 Jamie Lannister.
You said Nikolai Costa-Waldau.
Listen, that man is so hot to me, and especially as Jamie Lannister when he was captured and he was all helpless and he needed help from a big lady.
So what you're telling me is you like a submissive he/him.
That's right. I love a soft boy that's also an asshole, but I want to fuck him in the ass.
I say this with no malice in my heart. I think you are fitting very much into the archetype of a lot of women who fantasize about this type of man.
Probably. And you know what? That's great.
Yes.
Yes, we support it.
Go off.
So that sex dream was incredible. There wasn't actually sex. It was mostly like he was helpless and I was saving him. And that made me horny. And I woke up and I just like writhed around in the bed. You know what I mean? You just like roll around because you're like, oh, and you keep replaying it. I love sex dreams. Some people can't have them. I have them a lot. Now, it wasn't a wet dream. Now, speaking of wet dreams, more recently, so, okay, that started. And then I was like, like, I'm going to embrace this. Yes. And like, we've talked about, you know, if I would want to have sex with other people, because we've talked about like being open, but I've never really found anyone that I want to do it with. So until that time comes, it's still just a little fantasy of mine. But more recently, I had another sex dream. Following, of course, everyone's obsession a few months ago, Pedro Pascal. I didn't have a sex dream about him, but
you wanted to.
He's my slutty daddy. I wanted to have a sex dream about him. I did have a sex dream, however. This could be controversial. I haven't told you this. 3 nights ago, I had a sex dream about Johnny Depp. Specifically 40s Johnny Depp, like in his 40s, where he has like the facial hair of Pirates of the Caribbean.
I was about to say, is it Pirates of the Caribbean Johnny Depp? Does he have the dream?
It's not Pirates of the Caribbean. It's just that facial hair and that age where his hair is like kind of like chin length. Mm-hmm. So the dream, this one was incredible, where I woke up and I had to finish myself off immediately.
Wow.
Okay.
Reminder that your mom listens.
You know what, Mom? Listen, everyone does it. She talks inappropriately to me all the time. Okay. Don't repress my truth.
I'm not repressing your truth. I'm just reminding you of where you are.
I know. Oh, hey, Mom. No, okay. So the dream was, you know, in the backstage of like a giant stadium where it's like you see videos of stars like walking on stage, where it's like the cinder block walls and the hallways with the like the forklifts and all that shit, you know? Mm-hmm. So Johnny Depp took me back there and he was holding my hand and he was like, so what do you do? And I was like, well, I'm a waitress. In my dream, I'm just a waitress. And he was like, no, what do you really do? I was like, wow, well, I'm an actress and a singer.
She's like, well, I like to fuck and suck.
And like as I was talking about what I did, he like came behind me and was like breathing on my neck, and I was like, oh my god. And then he put his hand down my pants.
And you're between me down there?
In my down there, and then I woke up and I was like, so yes, I am attracted to men again.
Yeah.
I think I always was, but again, I
dream men.
But like dream men. Yeah, so just wanted to share that. It's really important. That's my weekly obsession, is like my sex dreams. I love having sex dreams because especially when you wake up already done, you didn't have to do anything. Your dream just did all the work for you. I didn't think this out too well of saying this on the podcast, but
the dream doing it for you, you kind of make it sound like it's labor, you know? Is it labor?
I mean, the dream is doing the work. Yeah, it's doing the labor of orgasming.
The fun part.
But the surprise is also fun. When you wake up, you're like, whoa!
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know, I'm feeling a little judged by you right now.
I'm not judging you at all. Not judging you at all. I am so proud of your sexual awakening for this part of your life. I think I support it wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
I embrace the blossoming sexuality that you're experiencing in this moment. Have some more dreams about fucking men. Love it.
We're going to take a break on that note, and we'll be right back. And we're back with This Is Why I'm Gay with Kim and Kelly. Thank you for joining us. We just talked about some naughty stuff before. So naughty. But now we're going to get into our week. No. We're going to get into our media spotlight. Did you just kiss the... Okay.
Did I tell you that you're the only woman I've ever kissed?
Me?
Right on the lips.
Really?
Yeah.
Can we do it some more?
Considering the previous conversation, I respectfully decline.
I know, I'm like rethinking all of my friendships. I'm like, do I want to kiss
Is
them?
there sexual tension?
No. No. We're going to get into our media breakdown. We're talking about a movie very important to both of us for many reasons. Yeah. A movie called Dolores Claiborne.
I don't remember the theme, but if I did, I would hum it here.
The movie came out in 1995. This is the description that IMDb gave me.
Let's hear it.
A big city reporter travels to a small town where her mother has been arrested for the murder of an elderly woman for whom she worked as a housekeeper.
Miss St. George.
Was that a good main?
Yeah.
Miss St. George. Director Taylor Hackford. Hackford?
It's probably Hackford.
The husband of Helen Mirren.
Oh.
Ooh.
You came in with all these facts.
Oh, yeah. I was doing a lot of research. I had time. I actually was prepared for today. What a concept. Starring Kathy Bates as Dolores Claiborne. Jennifer Jason Leigh as Selena St. George. You can't say St. George without saying that. No. Christopher Plummer as Detective John Mackey. John C. Reilly, for some reason, is in this movie as
looking good, might I add.
His character's name is Constable Frank Stamshaw. Constable? What are we, in 1885? I don't know. Yeah, he did look really good for
John C. Reilly.
For John C. Reilly. David's, I think it's Strathern, as Joe St. George, and Judy is it Parfit or Parfit, I wonder? Judy Parfit.
Yeah.
Vera Donovan, our queen.
France.
The tagline of the movie, did you know there's a tagline?
No.
They were separated by a death and reunited by a murder.
Ooh, that is good.
That's really good. So this movie, a little bit quick synopsis. Kathy Bates' character is accused of murder. She apparently, supposedly murdered her longtime in-home care person that she took care of, that she used to be a maid for, Miss Vera. Mm-hmm. And it's basically the story of originally her daughter coming to see what's going on because she's a journalist and she wants to just, she needs to go help her mom. She's accused of murder. But then it unfolds and you find out they have a very complicated relationship for a very terrible reason. Yes. And it just kind of unfolds from there. It's a Stephen King novel. It's very very strangely realistic, but then also surrealistic. It's got a very amazing, I think, perfectly executed shift throughout the whole movie.
Yeah. And if you like this synopsis and you haven't seen this movie, I would suggest watching it before listening to the rest of this, because
spoilers going forward.
Spoilers going forward, and also it's a good movie that keeps you guessing.
I watched it alone for the first time a couple months ago. I was just bored on a Saturday night. Angel was out. I was in. I was like, I'm just going to watch a movie. You had mentioned it to me before, so I was like, all right, I'm going to give it a try. Loved it. It was incredible. When was the first time you saw it?
I couldn't even tell you.
As a kid?
No. Okay. I think
it's not really a kid's movie.
It was probably like high school maybe for me. Because I had like a little Stephen King moment where I saw Misery, saw Carrie, and then I like read the books.
Yeah.
And then I saw Dolores Claiborne because I liked Kathy Bates and I liked Misery. And then loved the movie. And then I went back and read the book for Dolores Claiborne. And I didn't like it as much, which is odd because, you know, whenever anybody's talking about like an adaptation, they're always like, the book was better. And
a lot of people online are saying that this is one of the best Stephen King interpretations ever.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Especially because it's such a specific story. There's not a lot that they probably had to leave out. It probably had pretty much all of it in there, and they captured the feeling of the book. I haven't read the book, but for what people are saying online, it really captured it.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, I think the point of view in the book is a little odd for me, and it's like dialectical too. So it's like you're reading that very specific like accent, and I'm just kind of like, I'd rather experience it personally.
Yes, and the accent, let me just tell you, Camp Central, okay?
Oh yeah,
it's incredible. The way that Kathy Bates just sounds so stupid, but also completely accurate at the same time.
Yeah, no, she nailed it. She is a fantastic actor.
Yeah, and what I wrote to say what I liked about the movie, I said, the classic tale of a woman dealing with a shitty husband with a twisted surprise ending.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen King always has the best zings. He does. And it's also classically camp. The accents are silly. You know, and it's raw. Like, it really is fucking deep, because they talk about, you know, child abuse. They talk about murder, you know? Mm-hmm. You watch her get beat up in the movie. That shit's real. It's kind of a feminist film.
Oh, yeah.
A good for her film, for sure.
It is a good for her film. And I think it's a very me movie. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, it's completely on brand for you.
Kill your husband.
No.
Or like...
Exactly.
It's like the women win here, but nobody wins because everybody's losing. But like, we're learning to persevere and we're strong. And the basis of these characters is inner strength and like resilience and a little bit of mental illness and addiction. But we're going to work through it as best we can. And like, I live for that kind of like dark realism, like just gritty stuff like that. Especially when it's centered around like women, like bucking the tradition of like what's expected of them. And all of them do that in this movie, and it's so fucking good.
The performances are really great.
From all three.
From everyone. Women. All three women. And a lot of people, I just read a bunch of forums just to get the opinion of the people. And a lot of people were not happy with, what's her name? Jennifer Jason Leigh's performance, but it's because there was nuance there. They said she was boring, and I'm like, no, she was playing a repressed, angry woman.
Oh, yeah.
She played that character very well.
A mentally ill woman fully in the throes of addiction and denial.
Right, like that. Oof. That is not something you can do easily, and it's not something that you can go at 100 with. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't play it. You can't play it where she's going crazy the whole time. You know?
Yeah, and I also don't think that at base Selena is a likable character in the present timeline at like with her mother, like when she goes back to the island.
Yeah.
She's not a likable character, so it's understandable that people are like, I don't no, but it's just like, it's believable.
You kind of don't like either of them at the beginning. You're kind of like, what are these two angry women? Like, why are they so pissed off? You know? And the second watch was really interesting for me because you know everything and you understand why Dolores is like pissed off that she's even being asked these questions because it's like it's a small community. That guy is Christopher Plummer is clearly out for blood for her, and she knows it. And it's like that small town gossip and tea is always just so fun to watch. I love a small town story, and Stephen King just does it so well.
What's the island called? Big Tall Island?
Something like that.
Little Tall?
Little Mountain Island?
No, I gotta know.
You look it up.
Please look it up.
I'll look it up.
Because I'm not gonna call it the wrong thing for the next 45 minutes. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
we edit it back. Little Tall.
Little Tall. It's the Long and Briar Islands. Oh no, that's wrong.
It's like Little Big, Little Tall, Little Big.
Island name of Dolores Claiborne. Not filmed. No, I don't want to know. Little Tall Island.
Little Tall.
Did you say that?
I said Big Tall, Little Tall.
You were close.
Short round.
Big fat.
Big fat island.
So I kind of want to get into some of our favorite scenes.
Sure.
To get started.
Yep.
So my first thing that I really loved about the movie, the transitions and the flashbacks versus the current scenes. One of the best executions of that I've ever seen in my life.
I would agree with that. I do have like two, I think, that transitions that I thought were a little hokey.
Okay.
I think they would have been really cool at the time, but looking back at them, you're like, this was dated. The one where she breaks the window.
It was very dramatic and very campy. It was campy. It's camp now.
There was like one other one that was
the
like
rolling pin one.
Yeah.
At the beginning. I wrote those both down as the ones that I liked the best. No, because they're campy. I like them because they're silly.
I see. Okay.
Like, the movie is so well done, but that part kind of takes you out, but in a silly way. You're kind of like, what the fuck are they doing in 1995? Do you know what I mean?
I think there were other very seamless transitions. The ones where Dolores couldn't tell, like you could tell she was being swept up in a memory. And it would bleed into the current scene. So it would be like her husband coming home while she was sitting at the table with Selena in the present.
Yep.
And then like the scene changed with him coming in, and also like the color palette changed.
The color, I love deliberate color choice.
Ooh,
because the current, in the film, the current color is very blue, dark, depressing. Yeah. The past is even almost too colorful, almost like oversaturated, kind of maybe like rose-colored glasses. Like she's remembering it in a better way than it even maybe was. But then again, it was summer, you know, and it was a more innocent time. So they really use that in a really, I think, beautiful way. Because sometimes it does get confusing when you're watching flashbacks, and I think that's a perfect way to do it without explaining yourself. You don't have to put years or dates anywhere in the screen. It's just like it makes sense immediately.
Well, I think it's interesting in that like that is the expectation. You are looking back with fondness, and I think that's the way it's established, and then it is subverted immediately.
Yes.
Because with that first very distinctive flashback, you have her husband coming home, and they're having, you know, like a little, like they're making dinner, and that's so fun. They're
it
joking
seems
around.
So innocent.
And then he hits the shit out of her, and it like makes your stomach drop because you don't expect it at all.
Oh my God.
It's good.
She's just so incredible. One of my other favorite scenes was the drinking scene. Like the scene where she said, now we're going to sit down and we're going to fucking talk about this. Because in the story, Selena's, the character played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, the daughter, she is an alcoholic. She's basically a pill addict. Yeah. All because she is trying to repress these memories of her being abused by her father.
Yeah. Specifically sexually abused.
We do not know if he actually raped her, R-worded her. It's inferred that he was close to doing that.
Yeah.
We don't know. They don't explain it really. It's just kind of a very... Yeah. Which I'm glad that they don't. I think it didn't need to be explained. It was very like...
It was still very graphic and expository though. Like in ways that I think nowadays you're just kind of like, whoa, like this is... really spending a lot of time, not really inferring, but really just giving you the understanding of that. I mean, that's something we should probably talk about at the top of this podcast to be like, hey.
Trigger warning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it in post. But that scene just, it really, I think that was when the tables were turned, when she realized that Selena doesn't remember what happened. And she's angry at her mother because of something, like because her memory is skewed because of this trauma.
Yeah.
And she's like, we're going to sit here and we're going to drink this fucking scotch. And I'm going to tell you what the fuck happened. And it's just like, it's just that it's the switch in the movie that really, it's just like shocking.
Yeah.
And it's so incredibly acted. And I love watching it. Another one of my favorite scenes, the entire eclipse sequence.
Oh yeah.
That's the best part of the movie. That's the whole like
apex.
That's the apex of the movie, is that there's this, is it solar eclipse?
It's a solar eclipse. It happened in the 70s. I think they lined it up with
an actual one.
Yeah, when the solar eclipse happened.
And it shows oh no, sorry, I missed Vera's monologue beforehand.
Oh my God.
So the story basically comes out, she wants to leave her husband and take her daughter away. Then she finds out he took all of her money, and she's working with Vera's house, and she's very stoic and keeps to herself most of the time, but she breaks down in front of Vera. And Vera's like this cunty upper, middle class white woman, right? We'll get into Miss Vera, okay? We'll get into her right now. She is like, at first you think she's a cunt. She's just like a bitchy boss who's, classist and
the richest woman on the island.
The richest woman on the island. She has the big house. The husband hates her and left her, so now she's all alone with her settlement. And
her husband didn't leave her. Her husband died.
Well, we'll get there. In this monologue, she breaks down to Vera, and Dolores tells her, what happened. Like, I'm pretty sure my husband is doing this to my daughter. I need to leave. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. And Vera goes into a very disturbing, iconic, insane monologue where she says a couple of my favorite lines, which we'll get to, but she said, an accident can be an unhappy woman's best friend. What the fuck? With this gleam in her eye where she's like, sometimes men fall down the stairs. Sometimes their brakes fail. I'm like,
Judy Parfitt acted this scene so beautifully. It is
bone chilling.
You and I watched it. I think we watched it together and then watched that scene 2 times.
Yeah, we did.
Like, you see the tears sitting in her eyes. Ugh. And you see her teeth clench.
She's shaking with rage.
She's angry. And it's fucking gorgeous. It's so good.
I think I don't know if she was nominated for anything.
Neither of them.
I didn't think they were, right?
Neither of them were.
Because it's technically under horror. I feel like that always ruins it for these actors.
I can't remember what podcast it was, but I heard a clip where someone was interviewing Kathy Bates, and she was gutted that she was not nominated for anything. Like, rightfully so. It's an incredible movie.
Oh my God, yes. And it's one of my fun facts. It's her favorite role she's ever done. She says she thinks she did the best she's ever done in that role. And I agree, I think.
Yes.
I can't name a better role.
It's so good.
I can't. And like, of course she would be gutted. I would be too if you worked so hard and you she was like 3 different ages.
Yeah.
And like they did it well.
Her. She looked great.
She looked exactly her. Like, it just made sense. It all worked perfectly.
Yeah.
But that scene when Vera is she is telling her something without telling her, basically like, you need to kill your husband, but I would never say that out loud.
Read between the lines, Dolores.
Read between the lines, Dolores. Exactly. Iconic scene. I mean, if you're going to watch anything from that movie, you should watch the whole movie, but go watch that scene.
Yes.
That scene will definitely get you hooked. If anything will, that will.
Yeah. If spoilers don't bother you and you haven't watched this and you're still listening, watch that scene right now.
You really should. You really should. Now, of course, the eclipse scene, that's like the apex of the movie. Like I said, it's showing the sequence where Dolores goes through with her murderous plan.
Yeah.
But it's an accidental murder, basically. Mm-hmm. Where she brings home food for her shitty husband. She brings him home a bottle, gets him drunk, feeds him very well. Mm-hmm. The eclipse is about to happen, and she sets this little trap she finds in the bramble next to her home on the water. And she starts going off on him. She's like, I know what the fuck you did. I know you did that shit to our daughter, and you're a drunk and you're an asshole and you're going to pay for it. And he starts running after her, and he's like, you're not going to fucking get away with this. You think he's going to get her. And then he falls down the little hole that she found earlier in the movie.
The like dilapidated well.
Like a well, yeah. And he kind of realizes she was trying to kill him.
Yeah, you see it dawn on his face. that actor is also really great.
Oh my God.
Fantastic.
He scared me in this movie.
Yeah.
He was really scary. And I've seen him in he was like the conductor for Titanic.
He's been a lot of other roles. And
yeah, a lot of them wholesome as well.
yeah,
so
yeah.
I always love watching when an actor gets really fucking scary.
Yeah, he's rotted in this movie.
No, fully rotted. And the pinnacle of the movie is when he falls, and it's right when the eclipse happens and this red light is coming down, and it's just, and she breathes out this huge breath of air, like, finally I can breathe.
Yeah.
You know? And for some people, maybe that's not the way it should have gone. Maybe you shouldn't have murdered someone. But you know what?
It felt right here.
It felt
so
right. When you're doing that to someone, you're doing that to your child.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Unforgivable.
And you see throughout the movie kind of their relationship versus hers, and like
yeah,
the really complicated, traumatic relationship that occurs when a child is having that done to them, and then their mother, they hate that woman who's like in the way of their relationship or something, almost like it's just so twisted.
Yeah, and it's also like the complex relationships between mothers and daughters, especially around teenage years. And like, even if your mother is out now trying to help you, it's just like, I don't want it. Right. And I mean, when that is also complicated with the notion of like sexual assault, especially from a parent,
right?
It just really really complicates and twists things.
Totally. Well, on that note, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
And we're back with This Is Why I'm Gay with Kim and Kelly. We're talking about Dolores Claiborne, my favorite Kathy Bates movie now, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And we're talking about our favorite scenes. We just talked about a little bit about the apex scene of the movie, the solar eclipse scene. Kelly, tell me what you're thinking about.
So right before he falls into the well, I love the lighting in that scene. I think it's also most definitely a soundstage.
Oh, you can see, the lines around them. It's very green screenish.
Yeah. But I like that.
But I like it. It kind of feels like a painting.
Yeah. So it lends this kind of like nightmarish quality. The lighting almost makes you believe that it's not a soundstage, but it's so strange. Like it's
like
just
Norman
surreal.
Rockwell zombie.
Yeah, and like the lighting during an eclipse is very strange. So like it just ties in together. It also makes me think of the poppy fields in The Wizard of Oz.
Yes, very striking color differences between the sky and the flowers, and
yeah,
totally.
It's got that contrast that makes it feel really strange. I don't know. The Wizard of Oz is a whole different beast that we'll talk about, I'm sure, at some point.
Yeah.
But that scene in particular has always just been like kind of odd to me, and it almost has like the same color palette as that Briar Patch scene, but it's just like inverse. Like the sky is red rather than the flowers being red, and it's just. I never really thought about that parallel until right now, but
I love that. We'll unpack that.
Yeah.
At some point. I love the shot that they actually used for the cover of the book, which is from the well. You see Dolores in the circular hole, and then the moon behind her. It's like, oh my God, I want to paint that, and I love
frame it.
I love when a film can create imagery. Like it's not just a film. It's like some shots are like it's been orchestrated like a painting.
Come on, cinematography.
Oh my God. Come on, cinematography.
Yeah.
My last, it's not a favorite scene, but it's an important scene, I think, is the scene where Selena is left and she remembers finally what happened. Yeah. And she has this flashback about what, a moment that she had with her father where he was being disgusting with her, and she was fully disassociating. Like you could see, she was watching herself, like it happening to her, which I kind of think is it's a beautiful way to show a memory because it sometimes feels that visceral.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
I couldn't even imagine, but I'm sure with that, like realizing and understanding finally, and she goes into the bathroom. This is the part that always confused me and like made me very uncomfortable.
I know what you're talking about.
She looks so she's turned around. And then she slowly turns around, but her reflection is still turned around.
Yeah.
So she's seeing the back of her head. Why? I was trying to think about why they did that. Maybe it's because she's finally like seeing she's remembering, and that's like the little girl that she's wish she could save, perhaps. I don't know.
It's almost dissonant in like that is the one moment in the movie that feels like horror.
Yes.
Like, I mean, the whole thing is horrible and has horror elements to it, but that's one where it feels like it crosses the line into a different genre almost. Yeah. But she looks up from the mirror and sees her back in the mirror, and it's not explained.
No.
And I guess the way I interpret it is like almost being lost in your own memories. Like you're looking into a mirror, and in that mirror is a reflection that is what you are seeing. And like, I guess to me, it's representing like that, like feeling utterly lost in remembering the past or doubting yourself and whether or not you can even remember it correctly, which is what she's been doing the whole movie anyway.
Right.
So
that actually just made me think of, I just watched Us for the first time last week, and they had that same moment where she turns around and the other version of herself is turned around.
Yeah.
Which is kind of creepy.
Mirror imagery in movies is always so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely one of the most disturbing parts of the movie. I kind of want to get into the favorite lines now, because there's so many good lines.
I have one scene that I really want to...
Oh, yeah. Sorry. What were your... Do you have any scenes that I didn't mention?
You hit all the highlights. The one that I want to talk about is the China pig scene.
Oh, my God. So...
I want my China pig.
It actually makes me so sad.
It's
devastating.
It's a very, very sad scene.
Paint the picture for us.
Yeah. So... this is... The movie opens, essentially, with the way this scene ends. But it's not giving you everything.
I love that part, too. They give you two versions of the scene, because then you have totally different ideas of what's happening. Then they show you what really happened. I love that.
It's almost like you're getting the perspective of the scene from the mailman, the man who walked in. First of all, as somebody who was a mailman, you are not walking in somebody's fucking house to deliver certified mail. I am ringing the doorbell, standing there for 2 seconds, and then leaving because I don't want to talk to you.
And he went fully inside. He didn't even just like open the door and drop it. He was like
absent-mindedly. He was looking down.
I mean, I guess that's the small town mindset, whatever. But still weird.
Okay, so
you're like, I need to fucking talk about my experience.
We get the reassessment of this original scene. We get Dolores, being snippy with Vera, which is stark contrast to her being like almost militantly subordinate to her in order to keep her job. You see her like, oh yeah, you're wet, blah 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 blah, like just being sassy with her because she's over it, because she's been with this woman for a long time.
Like what? Did they say 30 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Jesus.
So Vera is in her wheelchair after having the bedpan changed. And
her fanny pan,
excuse me. we do need to talk about the colloquialisms very soon.
No, it's insane.
But she asks for her China pig, which is in a glass case collection of little porcelain pigs. And the first time I saw the scene, it was almost too long for me. I was just kind of like, okay, come on, I get it.
Right.
Like, but it elucidates a lot of what their dynamic is, how it's evolved. And even though they are snippy with each other, that is a snippiness that is born from the familiarity of being with somebody for decades.
Yep, like an old married couple.
Absolutely. And
kind of the queer lens that I like to think about. I'm like, maybe what if they were like together in an alternate universe? That's how they would act. They'd act the exact same way.
Yeah. I wish that reality existed a little bit, because like, even though these characters feel so human and complex and like multidimensional, that like they're fuckers, but like you care about them.
And you know a bitch like that. You know, like you know that bitch, so it just feels familiar. But please continue with the China thing.
So prior to the scene, she looks at Dolores and says, "I won't get better. I will never be better. I will only be this way or worse." And
which is so sad.
That's a harrowing revelation, to understand your mortality in that moment, to say, and like you can see it dawning on her.
Yeah.
Because she like falls apart. She's sitting in a wheelchair crying.
Temper tantrum.
Yeah. And Dolores brings over the China pig, and it's a music box And the song is Happy Days Are Here Again. That is the song that played. I didn't know that until we turned the subtitles on because I don't know, I couldn't identify it. But the song is Happy Days Are Here Again. She's staring at it. She stops crying. And you can see the light switch in her say, I'm going to end it. And there is a determination and strength from her in that moment to do what she is going to do. And it is, once you understand that revelation that like she heard that song and said, happy days are here again because I'm taking control of what I'm doing in this moment right now. And rather than suffer anymore, I'm going to take this way out and nobody's going to stop me.
It's that and the realization that the true happy days won't be here again.
Yeah.
And the only happy day will be that she'll end the suffering for herself.
I think you can interpret it one of two ways, saying like happy days will never be here again. Or on the other hand, say happy days are here again because I've taken the resolve to understand what I need to do next.
Yep. One thing I always was confused about was, didn't Vera realize after she fell down those fucking stairs that she didn't need to get hit with a fucking rolling pin to die? Like, that bitch was gonna die.
Sure, but
she just wanted it to be over.
Suffering.
Yeah, she was suffering.
Like, objectively.
Because in the first scene, you think, oh, she pushed her down the stairs and she's gonna kill her. But in reality, she threw herself down the stairs.
And it was a mercy killing.
And she was like, please end my life. Like, I need this to be over now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So sad.
Rough.
We love Vera, our queen.
Oh, yeah. Judy Parfitt, incredible actress.
Oh my
also,
God.
love her in Ever After. If you need to see her in
always
a role,
forget she's in that.
she's the Queen of France, baby. And
I'm going to France, yo.
like, lovely, magnanimous.
I love
sweet.
a bitch that is that articulates her words perfectly and uses her mouth in a large and aggressive way, like she does. A very theatrical.
What does she say?
Method.
Call me Vera.
I have it. Hold on. I have it. So let's get into the favorite lines while we're talking about it. So I'm just going to start reading them, and I just want to talk about a little bit each one.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the most iconic one that all three of our women say, which I love that. It's an important line that sews the story and weaves throughout the entire tale. Sometimes being a bitch is all a woman has to hold on to.
It's so iconic.
Vera says it to Dolores first in the moment where she's like, you're going to kill your husband today. And that's why you should do it. And then when Selena and Dolores are fighting in the current time, she says it to Selena. And then Selena says it in the final scene at the deposition to finally nail it home. And and there's a side story, we don't really need to mention it, but Christopher Plummer's character, he believed that she killed her husband, so he wanted to get her. He was like, my record's not 100%. I have to get this woman. And it's like, fuck, we don't care about that part.
No, we don't care about men.
And I think that last scene actually is a little too long, the deposition part. It's important.
Yeah.
But it was a little dragged on.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So
that line, I mean, when I heard that for the first time, I was literally shook to the core. I was like, this is... I agree. Like, that's how I feel. Like, sometimes being a bitch is all a woman has to hold on to. That's right. When all your shit's stripped away, you can still be a goddamn bitch.
Yeah.
There's nothing more to say.
Yeah.
Most of these are from Dolores, by the way. Cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers.
A lot of colloquialisms in this main accent. Insane accents.
I really want to say this one.
Please say it.
So I showed this movie to a couple of...
It's the next one on the list.
I know, which is why I needed to beat you to it.
Yeah.
I showed this movie to my friends. Like, 4 of my other friends, we watched it. We get together on Fridays and we watch movies and make dinner. And I was like, we're going to watch Dolores Claiborne. We're going to fucking watch Dolores Claiborne.
We're going to fucking watch it.
And something that we have been saying consistently to one another is... You do it again. One of us is going to the boneyard.
The boneyard.
BONEYAHD. Boneyard.
I put YAAAHD.
Boneyard.
Yard.
One of us is going to the boneyard.
Like, she'll just say these lines out of fucking nowhere. I mean, it'll be sort of aligned with what she's talking about, but cheese and crackers.
Like, yeah. I'm going to kill a man, but I'm not going to say Jesus Christ.
Here's another one. It's as cold as Christmas. Or 3 square meals of bitchery all summer long.
You know the one that I have, right?
Say it.
Listen here, Mr. Grand High Poobah of Upper Butt Crack. I'm just half past give a shit with your fun and games. Mr. Grand High Poobah of Upper Butt Crack.
I'm just half past give a shit. I'm going to start saying that.
I'm just half past give a shit.
I'm just half past give a shit with your fucking bullshit. And then, of course, fanny pan, which is how she refers to the bedpan.
How could we forget gory? She says gory 3 or 4 times.
What does that mean again?
It's like an exclamation that's like golly. Gory.
Gory. Cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers.
And then the one you were mentioning earlier when Vera was like, call me Vera. She says, I insist all women who cry in front of me call me by my Christian name.
I thought she said hysterics in my drawing room. Am I wrong?
Probably. I don't know. I read it from...
She also says, she doesn't say Christian. She says Christian.
My Christian name.
She says Christian.
And then the last one, an accident can be an unhappy woman's best friend.
Oh.
Fuck.
The ending of that, we're going back to that scene for just a moment.
No, please, let's keep going.
She has the tears in her eyes. She looks down and then looks back up, and there's one going down her face. And it's just, how do you do that? Like, I want to know how many takes they did of that scene.
I wonder.
Because
well, another I'm weaving in the fun facts in and out, but so this is one that I thought was really exciting. Judy Parfitt was recommended for the role of Vera by director Taylor Hackford's wife, Helen Mirren. So Helen Mirren got this bitch in. Parfitt, who had largely confined her career to the stage, so she's a thespian.
Okay.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Was virtually unknown to film audiences at the time. After she auditioned with Kathy Bates, Bates reportedly turned to Hackford and gasped, "Who was that?"
I love that.
They agreed to cast her on the spot.
That's amazing.
Wouldn't you? If you saw that bitch come out of the woodwork?
Oh my God.
Helen Mirren made this happen for us. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Helen Mirren.
Helen.
Oh my God, I thought that was a great fun. I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
I see, that's what I kind of love about Hollywood. Like, everybody knows each other. It's kind of, but like they really do know each other. Like, what the fuck? I mean, Helen Mirren was a huge British stage actor, so I'm not surprised that they probably worked together.
Yeah.
You know. Any more on that stuff before we move on?
No.
I think we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
And we're back. Oh my God, I'm so excited to talk about this next segment. So, you have a think piece you want me to talk about. We're gonna do that towards the end.
Sure.
Keep that on the burner.
Yeah.
I want to talk about some of the little funnies. You know, the things when you're watching a movie with someone, especially with us, like the little stupid things that we think are just so hilarious for no reason. I want to talk about some of them. First of all, Selena's boss is like the Walmart Tim Curry. That's what I said when I was watching it.
I can't remember that actor's name, but he's been in other stuff, like recent stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He looks like Tim Curry to me, and I thought I was like, that's just my funny little thing. I mentioned it's cool to see how Dolores acts once you've seen the film, but that's not funny. When you see Kathy Bates look at her hands, and they're not her hands.
Oh, clearly.
They're an old woman's hands that are not her hands.
That is like, I don't even know, but that was like old village woman hands.
Like they were thick and wrinkly, and they couldn't even move very well.
Were stiff with arthritis, dry.
And in the rest of the movie, you clearly see her hands don't look like that.
Yeah, but
so
also,
bad.
Who the fuck were they like? We need a hand model. We need a woman with fucked up hands.
Oh my God, can you imagine like 50-year-old women coming in like, look at my hands are the ugliest.
And also, I remember when we were watching it, and I was like, imagine it's just Cassie Bates with like sticks that with like fake hands on it. Like, she's got them like in her cardigan, and she's just like.
I hope that's actually what happened.
It's not. I wish it was, because it would be so funny. But.
I really appreciated Vera doing needlepoint.
Oh yeah.
She's a needle pointer, which like
I called it cross stitch and you were like, it's needlepoint.
There's a difference. Needlepoint is used.
Loser.
Needlepoint's larger and it's not a cross stitch. It is a single diagonal stitch with yarn.
Yeah, I felt like an idiot after I said that. I'm so sorry to disrespect your craft like that.
It's okay. I want to know the entire list of Vera's house rules.
Oh, yeah, because they were fascinating rules.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about like that whole part of it, because I just thought that was so fascinating, like watching this woman's needs in her home.
The silver was polished once a week.
Yep.
You had to see her face in it. The toilets were cleaned every single day.
The sheets had to be like 300 feet from the house to get the southern wind from the water.
Yeah, they had to be graced with the southern wind. 6 pins, Dolores.
Not 5. You know how I like it.
You know how I like it. 6 pins.
With her teeth. 6 pins.
6 pins.
That is exactly.
Dolores.
Wait,
why can't I do this accent?
That was really good. It's definitely the mid-Atlantic accent.
Yeah.
Dolores.
Wait.
Whoa.
Why did I just unlock a new impression?
You fully unlocked a new impression.
Sometimes being a bitch is all a woman has to hold on to.
It's like I'm watching the fucking movie right now.
Exactly. I'm
Holy
a haggard, rich woman who's bitter and killed her husband.
Like, I want to know what else she had on that list. Like, my sheets are crisp. They have to be at a 45-degree angle.
She said something about how the sheets were laid. The welcome mat needed to face the letters facing out, Dolores.
Oh my god, it's scaring me. You need that wig and like you need to like paint your teeth yellow because her teeth are yellow.
At the end.
They were yellow.
She was Tanisha in the beginning, so shut up.
I mean, that's a lot of older people in that time anyway. Like, no one really cared about their teeth at that time. But
welcome mat, letters facing out. There was at least one more. I want to know what she did with the groceries.
Right.
I want to know how she winterized the house, because they have a scene where she's like covering the chandelier and doing all that
they
shit.
cover probably every piece of
furniture.
furniture.
And she was cheap.
Yep.
$20. $20 in the winter a week.
Even in the 70s, that's really cheap.
It makes me so mad that Dolores is like, yep, that's fine.
It just seemed like, why do you think Dolores stuck with it for so long? Do you think she had like that kinship with her and she felt bad for her? Or do you think she was just like,
she didn't give a shit about.
She was just like, it's a job. I'm doing this job.
She didn't give a shit about Vera for the longest time.
Yeah, I think just when she started to lose herself, she probably just felt sad for her.
Well, I think that bond just grew over time. You know, like I still think
two stubborn women.
Absolutely. And I think initially it was probably a job that she knew that she could do, and she was doing it well. And especially in places where your home life is really hard and you are successfully doing something outside of your home, it feels really fucking good. Like when you know you're doing something right. And she was by Vera's standards, she was fucking killing it.
I was going to say, she probably felt good knowing that she is getting positive feedback from a bitch who probably hated every other person that worked for her before that, you know?
Positive feedback from Vera was like...
Ooh! Little buggy.
Positive feedback from Vera was no feedback at all. Like, exactly. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Okay, so my last thing, no, two more things. The old woman in the bar looking like, so when we watch this scene where Selena's in the bar and the detective comes in, we notice two things. First of all, it's one of those old bars that has the giant jar of pickled eggs, like this tall of pickled eggs. Just, God. You know, that's been there for 30 years.
Yeah. I'll need to replace it.
But then we also notice an old woman in the background of the shot that looks like the old woman.
Well, first of all, we were looking at her and we were like, huh?
Who's this bitch?
And then the longer we looked, I said, wait
a minute.
Doesn't she look like that optical illusion of the old woman and the beautiful young woman?
I'm going to put it on the screen, but it's like...
okay.
It's the nose and the chin. Like, oh my god.
I want you to do the optical illusion of the beautiful woman. And I'll do the one of the old lady.
What's the what? I don't remember what it.
Okay, do you remember what the old lady looks like?
I need to look it up. Of course I do. Of course I do.
Do the old lady and I'll do the sexy woman.
It's like...
Yeah, and she was leaning, and it was like choker, and it was like a Victorian woman.
I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it
God.
up. Yep. Oh, yeah, where her head's
She's
turned.
just like, sorry, I'm so sexy. I need to look behind
it's really
me.
an old woman's like...
Yeah, she's like haggard. She's like a
like,
little...
She's like...
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, literally like an evil...
Exactly.
I look just like her.
But
when we saw that and we couldn't unsee it, we were like, what is this random ass bitch doing in Dolores Claiborne looking like this fucking old ass woman?
Yeah.
Ugh. And then my last little funny, I just loved that they had a full bossa nova band at the party for the eclipse party.
Oh, okay. And Vera handpicked them because that was like all the rage at the time.
She said, I saw them at a club in New York and I just had to get them up here. It's like, what the fuck?
Enjoy the eclipse.
Exactly.
God.
Oh my
love
God.
That woman.
Okay, so those are just some of my favorite funnies. I did mention the music as well. I really enjoyed the score. It was just perfectly eerie. It matched the tone that we wanted. Let's talk a little bit about some fun facts.
Okay.
So, as I mentioned already, Kathy Bates' favorite movie role of her career, rightfully so.
It's so good.
Rightfully so. Judy Parfitt was recommended by Helen Mirren. Huge. Okay. And this is a little bit about his style choice for the cinematography. I thought it was an interesting. The director Taylor Hackford, about the film style. Although the acting is realistic, Dolores Claiborne is certainly more stylized. In fact, my production designer and I looked a lot at Magritte's surrealist paintings and even incorporated some of his imagery in the film, like when Jennifer Jason Leigh looks in the mirror and what she sees is the back of her head. I was trying to create a unique look in that film where the narrative alternates between the present and the past. I had different looks for each, and they had to reflect the psychological nature of Dolores. In the present tense, we shot on Kodak, which has a strong, contrasty, bluish feel to it. Oh, so it was about the camera, not even the color choice, compared to a Fuji camera for the past.
That's so cool.
Isn't that cool? 2 different cameras. Yeah. This is the... Oh, my God. I'm going to save this one for last. Okay. So this one you'll really like. Stephen King wrote the character of Dolores with Kathy Bates in mind after they met on the set of Misery.
Damn.
He wrote it with her in mind.
That is so cool because you have like the artist being influenced by people who are emulating his previous art. Like,
exactly.
That's so fucking cool.
That's exactly what happened in the 2nd season of Big Little Lies. The writer wrote Meryl Streep's part for her.
Damn.
She said, I want Meryl Streep in my fucking show, and this is what because I love her so much.
Yeah. So we're gonna get her.
That must feel really good.
Yeah.
But okay. This is a quote I really liked. It's a self-consciously feminist film that combines the melodramatic impulse with the investigative structure of a noir crime thriller and a contemporary feminist consciousness.
So me.
Right? But this is the most important thing that I know you're going to immediately dive into, because I kind of didn't want to dive into it because I wanted you to do it. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm really
Shut
excited.
up.
A 2-part opera adaptation premiered in San Francisco in 2013, followed by a new version of the same opera in 2017. An opera.
Of Dolores Claiborne?
Of Dolores Claiborne.
What?
An opera.
Is it in English?
I don't know. That's all I know about it.
Oh, we're going to have to find out.
We're going to have to dive deep.
That's so cool.
Aren't you shocked by that?
I mean, it does
makes
have,
sense.
Like, when you think about operas, when you think, like...
the kinds of stories that they tell.
They are either...
comedy or a drama.
Yep. Comedy or a tragedy.
Tragedy.
Yeah.
Very Grecian.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you think that's like? Probably incredible.
Or terrible.
Probably terrible. I mean, we've never heard of it. So.
I'd be curious. I don't really like English.
I don't either.
Just,
what's your favorite language? Do you have a favorite yet?
For opera?
Yeah.
Italian.
Yep. I like French as well.
What is it? Italian, German, French, English, and Japanese?
Yes. Those are the main
Russian
ones.
too.
No, those are the main ones.
Okay.
Those are the main ones. I don't like English either. It's like, I don't want to understand you.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I want to completely not know what you're saying and just listen to the music.
I mean, that's kind of how I like to consume music anyway, because,
Right.
like, I was thinking about it the other day where I have to really be intentional about reading lyrics for English music, because if I don't understand the song, because I'm so conditioned to listening to non-English music at this point that I'm just listening to the sound.
You like the
It's
sound.
nice. So
That's so funny.
It's interesting with opera because you can feel the emotion of, at least I can, of that medium so strongly that you don't even really need to know what's going on. I mean, it's helpful, and
right?
Elucidating, but it's not.
It's the second time you've used that word. I really like it.
Today?
Elucidate. Yeah, you used it earlier, I think. You used it similar. What does that word mean?
Elucidating? To make clearer, to illuminate, to provide understanding.
Oh, like lucid.
Yeah, sure.
But what the fuck? A Dolores Claiborne opera?
Yeah, that's
we're gonna have
amazing.
to have to look into that.
Yeah. Who was Kathy Bates in that opera?
I want to know. But there's two versions too. I'm like, what happened in 2013 and then what happened in 2017?
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I want to know. But anyways, those are my fun facts. I want to hear the question that you had for me.
I don't know. I feel like you have an answer to this question. Does Stephen King give his female characters the complexity they deserve, or is that just Kathy Bates?
Whoa.
I mean, you almost answered that with your other fun fact about him writing Dolores Claiborne with Kathy Bates in mind, but I want to know your take.
I don't think he's that complex.
Right?
I don't think that he has the capacity to write it the way that it was portrayed by her. I think that maybe he wanted that, or like sort of got there, but Kathy brought it all the way there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've read a couple Stephen King books, and I have seen the way he writes certain women, and like sometimes I'm just like, and her tits were hanging because she was almost 40, and you're just like, oh my god.
Okay.
Like it's you'll get a non-traditional depiction of a woman, but then it's like sullied by the fact that he's like kind of misogynistic in his descriptions. I mean, it was like, what, the 80s, you know, like it just, I don't know, like I do think that he writes interesting female characters, but
do you think he wrote that character in mind, that we wanted to feel for her at the end, or do you think Kathy did that? That's the question that I wonder. Like, do you think he wrote it where he made it make sense in his head that that man deserved to die, or do you think he was just like, the crazy woman killed her husband?
No,
I don't think so. I think he's more complex than that, but I don't think. I just think that Kathy portrayed that more than he could ever write it.
I wonder if he saw Kathy Bates in Misery and was so captivated by the complexity of her performance that he
wrote a complex character.
How he was going to write that character.
Maybe it changed his writing forever.
I fucking hope so, because Kathy Bates has that power. Like,
she does.
That,
oh my god,
that performance is electric. It is so out of this world. I feel like a fucking broken record, but like, it's so good.
You know, she won the Actress Award for Misery, right?
Oh yeah.
But see, then that so
wasn't
that
like her first movie too.
Yeah, I think so.
Jesus.
But it kind of contradicts what I said earlier, though, because horror does win sometimes, and I feel like of the two, Dolores should have gotten. I think
over Misery.
I think so too. I think her character in Misery was a little stagnant. You know, she was just kind of the disturbed woman.
I think she was originally written as kind of a two-dimensional character.
Dolores?
No. Annie Wilkes.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Kathy Bates played her, something happened.
Mm-hmm.
She gave her life in a way that I don't think Stephen King ever envisioned that character being as magnetic as she is, being as complex as she is. And I mean, that's an incredible performance. It's not Dolores Claiborne. Like, I don't think they're in the same category. Like, they are of the same caliber, But I don't.
They're not sister films.
I don't want to compare them.
No.
I don't. It's unfair.
You can't. You can't.
But
the cock-a-doodle car.
yeah,
oh my god. Yeah, I think I love Dolores Claiborne more. I really do, just because for many reasons. I mean, just Vera alone is like that. I want to watch more movies with her in it.
Yeah.
She doesn't have many, like I said. She's mostly a theater actor. So
she was in a show recently.
Oh, really?
Where she plays like a nun.
Oh. Yeah, we did talk about that when we watched the movie.
A little bit. I don't know much about it, but I'm kind of curious about it because I just want to see her and stuff because she's really amazing too.
Right. Before we go to break and we do our last segment, do you have a top 3 off the top of your head of your favorite Stephen King movies? I need to pull them up if I'm going to ask this question. I mean, I think Dolores Claiborne is my favorite.
Yeah. It's probably Dolores Claiborne, honestly, Misery second.
Really? Carrie was his first one.
Yeah, Carrie was his first book too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, you can tell.
I've never read the book.
It's okay.
So okay, you keep thinking. My favorite are Dolores Claiborne, this is kind of lame, Shawshank Redemption, and Stand By Me. I love those movies so much.
I think it's...
If I had to do a top 3.
Dolores Claiborne, Misery, the first It movie.
The first? I've never seen it.
It's scary. It's really scary.
It's all practical, so I always find practical to be scarier than CGI.
The more recent one?
Yeah, it's like...
That one was all practical?
No, I'm saying the original is practical.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Wait, you said...
That was a TV... It was like a TV...
Oh, you said the first new It.
Yeah, so like... Not the chapter 2 one. That's like the second half of that one.
I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, and the Green Mile. See, I like his emotional movies more. I mean, I like horror, but they just strike me so much more. Like, the Green Mile, that's such a cop-out because everyone's like, it's such a... Really?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, Patricia Clarkson in that gives.
Patricia Clarkson?
Yes, exactly. Damn. Exactly. And Tom Hanks. Oh my God, it's so good. You should watch it. Wow, it's 3 hours and 9 minutes.
Oh, yeah, it's long.
I kind of want to watch it again now.
I remember my grandma had that movie on VHS and it was 2 tapes.
Oh my God, I love when it's a 2 tape. I had the Titanic 2 tape.
Yeah, I mean, that's a classic one.
Titanic 2 tape.
Titanic 2 tape.
On that note, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
And we're back with This Is What I'm Gay with Kim and Kelly. I'm Kim.
I'm Kelly.
Yeah, say it like you mean it. Jesus Christ. All right, so we're talking about Dolores Claiborne, one of our favorite Stephen King movies.
Yes. Unequivocally.
Unequivocally. We've talked about some fun facts. We've talked about some great scenes, some amazing quotes like "cheese and crackers," and I'm just half fast. Give a shit.
With your fun and games.
Now I want to talk about the last little segment it's going to tie us all back about the queerness of this film. There's not much, but I think about Vera and I'm like, that's a drag queen. Like, Vera's kind of a drag queen camp persona, don't you think?
What if...
What song would she sing if that was a drag queen?
What if there was a stage production of Dolores Claiborne and...
all drag?
Vera was played by a drag queen.
Oh my God. Wouldn't that be incredible?
Yeah.
Who would play her? Jinx?
That would fucking eat. Yeah.
Jinx?
That would be amazing.
Think about Jinx saying, an accident can be an unhappy woman's bed. Like, she would kill that.
No. She'd say.
Oh my God. Yeah, and she's got the red hair for it.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect, like, orange hair. So.
No wig.
No wig. I mean, if she curled her hair up, it would work. That would actually be a great, like, movie moment for her. But I don't want them to redo it. No. Oh, you said stage play.
Yeah.
I just, and it influenced me because I want to be just like Vera when I grow up. I want to be just as bitchy and just as rich.
I do have a question for you.
Okay.
I have a question for you.
Oh, wait, no.
What?
I wasn't recording my audio.
Well,
Fuck.
you can steal it from me.
Okay.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is your China pig? What is something that you cling to? What is something that you're like fixated on that other people don't necessarily understand, but you love wholeheartedly?
What is my China pig? Wow.
What's your China pig?
What's my China pig? Do you have a China pig?
I do.
Hold on, I gotta think about it.
My China pig is deep dives of old dead women. Like that's not something that everybody's like, oh yeah, let's talk about this. That is a niche topic where like I feel like if I bring it up to half the people, I know that shut the fuck up.
And when you're in a distressing situation, you're like, bring me my China pig.
Yeah.
It's like, bring me my women.
I want my China pig. I need to know all of these facts about Dalida.
I don't know what my China pig is. I guess it's like, oh my God. I'm on the spot right now. I feel like I can't come up with something. Maybe
like musical theater.
Yeah, I was gonna say like music, like my girls, like Tina Turner is my China pig.
No, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Your China pig is Sex in the City.
My China pig is Sex in the City.
Your China pig is Sex in the City. You've been talking about it for weeks on end. You're like, season 4, episode 1. You need to watch this one. I watched it like 9 times.
That is the best episode. Did you remember that?
Yes.
Okay, that's
because
actually,
you've told me 9 times.
that actually should have been my
We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to it.
You will still be obsessed with your China pig.
We're about to be out of time.
Okay.
I want to say, how many out of 10 did this make you gay?
At least an 8 because it ties into all of the core facets of like my feminism.
Yep.
Which is like mean, kill that man kind of energy. Oh, love it.
Yeah, definitely an 8 or 9 out of 10 for me. Is this why you're gay? Yes, because I would also kill my abusive husband.
Oh, I would kill my abusive husband or I would hide it. I would hide it for my friend.
I would hide it.
Oh.
I'd do everything she did and more.
Yeah.
And on that
I would clap.
I would clap and I would just be happy in every facet. So on that note, Kelly, thank you so much for being here. Had a great time. Thank you for watching This Is I'm Gay. Go follow us down below on Spotify and all the places you listen to your podcast. Go subscribe. Tell your friends. We're gay. You're gay. Let's talk about it.
Watch Dolores Claiborne.
Watch it. Bye.